Hey, it's Wednesday, and I want to pause from the gaming content, the gameplay content for a bit just to get this story talked about because this is one of those things where when I saw this, I'm like, I called it. I called it. People who have been watching this YouTube channel for a while have heard me talk about the fact that the only way that social media is going to start caring about the privacy and dignity of the people on its networks in real terms is if they get sued directly. If the social network gets treated like a publisher for the purpose of a suit and is held liable for the things that the content providers on the social network do on it. And we have a test case. We have, as you see, Facebook faces revenge porn trial over teenager's image. Now, teenager makes it sound like they're 16, 17 years old. No, you can see down at the bottom here, I'll scroll up. This is a lawsuit by a 14-year-old who had a naked photo distributed repeatedly on the platform. And I want to be clear here. This wasn't just one time. It wasn't somebody put a photo up, thought it would be funny, Facebook took it down, all good. In some article, I don't know if it was this one or another one, I think it was this one here. The girl's lawyers allege that the photo was obtained through blackmail and then repeatedly posted online between November 2014 and January this year. So it got taken down, it got put up again, it got taken down, got put up again. Now, why are they saying Facebook is liable? Because Facebook has something called a photo DNA system, which can flag a photo and stop it from being put back up. They do it with things like music videos and a historical photo of a girl in the Vietnam War in 1972. It was a naked girl fleeing a napalm attack, and Facebook decided that violated its ban on images of naked children, even though it was a historical photo. Somebody is really inconsistent at the switch at Facebook, and this is the challenge for these social media companies. And now that we've got enough of this, I can show you some ReCore gameplay because you don't want to just look at a screen for a while. I'll show you this really cool platforming level that I captured. It's really pretty. So this was my first crack at this. I didn't practice in advance, so screw you people who think I suck at video games. I'm pretty proud at my platforming prowess on this. But getting back to the Facebook thing. I like the metaphor here because this is sort of Facebook navigating the landscape of letting people upload anything to this massively powerful social media behemoth. And what my issue with the whole thing is that the minute these social media sites, whether it be Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, whatever, I think Snapchat has less liability because stuff doesn't stay on there for a very long time. So no matter what, it goes away. Someone would have to repost it over and over again. It's not there forever. But with the big ones, Facebook definitely is up there. Twitter, Instagram to a lesser extent. Facebook is deciding, it is curating its content. It is deciding what goes up and what doesn't, what is taken down and what's allowed to stay. And the minute you do that, you become responsible for the content. I think in premise, you are responsible no matter what. You're putting it up there, you're the publisher, you're liable. This has been a premise of publication for, quite some time. If a writer puts a story up that somebody doesn't like in conventional media, then they sue the paper because ultimately the paper said it was okay for them to put up. Now, in the wild, wild west of the internet, that is a grayer area. But the minute Facebook starts putting these software tools on it that allow sort of a fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me dynamic to occur, it's different. because if they can actually tag a photo that previously existed and that's it, done, they can't put it up anymore, especially when it involves minors. I was very proud of that move. Then you start getting into liability. And I think with children, we do have to place a very high standard on Facebook. I mean, I think that people who are under the age of 18 should have, more safeguards put on the Facebook accounts than adults who our society has determined are equipped to deal with this sort of flagrant defamation and shame tactics. Although I would argue that no one was really prepared for what social media has become. I was mad at that, and it kind of goes to hell after this. But when Facebook has these tools and they use it to start censoring historical content because of essentially, prudishness, it becomes a real slippery slope because it shows they're prepared to drop the hammer, right? And Twitter gets into the same issue with this stuff where they will, lower the boom on people that go after a celebrity like, for example, Leslie Jones. I was really mad about that death because I slid off the edge. Angry. Just saying. Cheap. But they will crack down if it's high profile enough. But for regular people, you're on your own. You're pretty much screwed because there's no helpline on Facebook. There's nowhere you can pick up the phone and talk to an actual person and say, look, this is happening. This is the situation. Please help me. There's no live intervention in specific, regular people's circumstances. And that is the part that concerns me because it's inverting the pyramid of what's supposed to happen in terms of expectations of privacy. Private people, private citizens are supposed to have a greater expectation of privacy and dignity than celebrities are. If you're in the media, the basic calculus is you trade privacy for money, and you understand you're being very well paid for the press to make fun of you, and therefore you accept the trade-off. But that's not what happens in social media. On social media, famous people go to the front of the line in terms of having their disputes resolved. And I really feel like we're coming to the end of that era. I really feel like we're getting to a place where now, if this lawsuit is at all successful, then there will be more, and people will be emboldened. Even the fact that this is going to trial is going to change things in a very meaningful way, because it means that there's a case to be argued here. And the specific merits, what the judge decides here, is going to be very big for what's going forward. So I am going to be watching this very, very closely, because if this is successful, and even if it's not successful and the door is left open for other people to hold Facebook accountable for, and other social media, I mean, Facebook is not special in this way. Let's face it, Twitter has a lot more work to do than Facebook regarding this stuff. And if Facebook is held accountable in a meaningful way, then, or like I said, even if the judge can say, I could see this being an argument, not in this case, but if these facts were provided in future, I could find in favor, then all of a sudden these social media sites are going to start taking these things a lot more seriously, because they have to. Now their pocketbook's affected, right? And that's the cynicism I intensely dislike in these social media things. It's all about money. It's not about people. It's how much can we get away with before we have to hire actual people to investigate these things because we care about user experience, what happens to people in our internet space. And that just bothers me for obvious reasons. So I'm gonna leave it there because yay, pretty platforming. Wasn't that cool? Don't take this as my judgment of the game though. I am going to deal with that tomorrow. I wanted to deal with this issue first. Cool? Cool.